Instead you can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song.
Welcome to Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged is a snapshot of the day-to-day experiences of disabled individuals as they navigate the world around us. We wish to shed light and open your eyes on a new perspective of people with disabilities. And by going unplugged, we can discuss viewpoints we hope will challenge our viewers' points of view. Most of us have disabilities we must live with, but what defines us is the way we deal with them. And now, here's your host, Brain Fitzpatrick.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick. I'm bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathway of Life, produced by myself, Brian Fitzpatrick, and it's being broadcast in the facilities of Pittsburgh Community Television. And what Wheeling the Pathway of Life is like the opening said, a snapshot of day-to-day living for disabled individuals and people with physical challenges. But if you think about it, it's how everybody lives on a situation, because we all have disabilities and we all have challenges that we deal with. And one of the things I want to talk about today in this segment is the rights and responsibilities that people have. Every client or every consumer that is involved with either the PCA program or United Cerebral Palsy of Western Mass and United Cerebral Palsy of North Adams, Mass, all have the rights to do and to be safe in their environment and to make choices of their own, make choices that they want for themselves. But the clients have the responsibility of creating a non-hostile work environment and creating a pleasant environment for the people to work in. So the reason why I bring that up is because some people think that it is the responsibility of the staff to make sure I'm happy and safe and everything, but it is also my responsibility to make sure, and along with my agency that's involved, to make sure I'm safe and to make sure I'm covered in the event of an emergency. type situation. And one of the things that I really want to spend a little bit of time on today is every situation is not the same for every client, obviously, but what I would recommend is, and I'm going to call it a what about me book. And what I mean by what about me books is I'm in the middle of making one, and I'm going to make one. Probably started tomorrow when I go to the offices. Oh, what about me book to me is what I like, what I dislike, when I like to get up, what I like to eat, what I like to do, what time I like to get up, some of the tasks that the PCAs can do when I'm busy doing something else, so that they know what they can do in the event that I'm busy and can't explain to them what it is I want them to do. Now, that can be as complicated as if I'm busy for a couple hours, find something to do, like clean the closets or clean out the refrigerator. You can do this when I'm busy doing something else. Putting those things in documentation forms, on documentation form, doesn't, it kind of stops the repeat questions every time you're in a situation you don't want to be asked the same question day after day or every situation. If you can have a conversation once with somebody, you typically, no, I won't say typically in every case, but most of the cases, you don't have to have the conversation again with the same people. And that also gives me an opportunity to change my routine to the way I want it instead of the way the staff wants their routines to go. What tends to happen with staff is they get comfortable in where I am, what I wanted, what I've done in the past is what they think I want to do all the time. And that's not always true. I'm just like everybody else. I want to do things when I want to do things. I want to get stuff packed up when I go to my new volunteer position at UCB, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute, but so the What About Me book is just a simple question, so you don't have to simple written down instructions so people can look at it and refer to, okay, what did Brian say we do in an evacuation procedure? Because my evacuation procedure is different than most people's evacuation procedures. Most people, in the event of a fire, want to get out of the building, okay? And during the day, that would be easy. But during the night, when I use a lift to get out of bed, the urgency of the fire will not allow me to use a lift, okay? And there is one person with me at night, usually, and one person would not be able to get me out of the building myself. Building by themselves, unless I was totally relaxed and totally not excited about the emergency situation. Therefore, I've got the policy, you do not evacuate me out of a fire from the bed under any conditions at all. The staff go outside the front of the building and wait for the fire department and tell them where I am, and they will come in and get me. Now, many of you might say, that's stupid. If the staff think they can get you out, then let them do it. But my theory is, and this is not necessarily the theories of everybody, and this is not the opinion of the station, this is the opinion of me, and the way I believe things should go. For me, I believe if it's more of a risk for somebody to try to get me out that isn't sure if they can get me out, I'd rather take the risk of not being able to get out because the fire department didn't show up in time, rather than risk somebody else's life out of maybe that they might be able to get me out of the building. Plus, staff are not covered if they get hurt, if they try to act like a hero and get me out. Getting me out of a fire is a gray area under workman's comp when it is clear that the fire department is only 2 minutes away from where I live, or a minute and a half away from where I live. So I'd rather take the chance of them not being able to make it. And if only one person being affected instead of two. I know some people may think that's weird in an emergency situation, but it's gonna take longer to fight to get me out than have the fire department come in and get me out if there's an emergency type situation. So, what I'd like to talk about now is, and I will make a graphic for this in a couple weeks, maybe not next week, but the week after. My hours at UCB of Western Mass in North County on Friday. I know I'm running backwards, but my hours at UCB in North County on Friday are 10 a.m. to 1:30 in the afternoon, and my hours at UCB of Western Mass in Pittsfield office is the same, only it's on Tuesday, and again that's 10 a.m. to 1. No, I'm sorry, not 1:30. 10 a.m. to 1 on Mondays and Fridays. I'm sorry, scratch that, start again. My hours on Tuesday in Pittsfield is 10 a.m. to 1, and my hours in North Adams, UCB of Western Mass is 10 a.m. to 1 on 10 a.m. to 1 on Friday. So that's 10 a.m. to 1 on Tuesday in Pittsfield, 10 a.m. to 1 on 10 a.m. to 1 and 1:30 on Friday afternoon. And what I'll be doing during those hours is setting up what I am attempting to do is give people an opportunity in both locations, the general public and the disabled population in general, is to stop by and meet me and to be able to have a space where I can deal with disability questions and advocate more thoroughly about what I'm doing and where people can get services, and go into schools and meet with administration in the cities and towns that are mostly affected by the major the downfalls, the pitfalls of having a disability. Believe me, there are a ton of pitfalls. And hopefully by introducing myself in both locations and spending time with the clients and the consumers, the clients or consumers, depending on what you want to call them, will give me a perspective that I can bring on the show and future shows and on a continuing basis, and I can bring you actual updates as to what UCB is doing, and hopefully bring on some people from UCB eventually and give you updates on what they're doing and what kind of services can be provided by not only UCP, but some of the agencies around the area. If anybody wants to meet with me at either location, they can get a hold of me at Wheeling the Pathways of Life. That's Wheeling the Pathways at gmail.com. That's Wheeling the Pathways at gmail.com. And tell me in email if you want to meet with me and what day you want to meet with me, either Tuesday or Friday between the hours of 1 and 1:30. No, between the hours of 10 a.m. I can extend my hours by maybe half an hour. Either way, it's usually 10 to 1, but I can go to 1:30 if I need to. Like I said, during that time, I can meet with mayors, I can meet with city councilmen, I can meet with fire chief, anybody that doesn't want to necessarily meet at the house, my house, because what I'm trying to do is give myself something to do during the day. And this way it gets me out of the house, gets me more involved in what's going on, so therefore I can bring the information to you. When we come back, we will continue this discussion. We will be right back after this PSA. Thank you.
Letter said that you were leaving, but you did not know how long. I will never stop believing that one day you will return. Though the waiting is the hardest part of everything I do, I do confess it's getting better, knowing I will be with you. It's alright. It's okay. I won't worry about tomorrow, for it brings me one more day closer than I was to you, closer than I was to you. Yeah, yeah. Now the question isn't will you, but what I want to know is when. If it's one day or a million, I will wait for you till then. And so I'm holding on to your word and the promises you made. So there is not one you have broken. I didn't say. It's alright, it's okay. I won't worry about tomorrow, for it brings me one more day closer than I was. It's alright, it's okay. I won't worry about tomorrow, for it brings me one more day closer than I was to you, closer than I was to you, closer than I was to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's okay, just one more day.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathways of Life. And one of the things that I want to mention before I forget, we have been so graciously accepted. Another station has picked us up that I mentioned briefly, but I was talking to Matthew Tucker from Northern Berkshire Community Television, or whatever. I don't know the actual name of the station, but at any rate, we have been picked up by that station. So I will be getting more details as to the times when I will be airing on that station in the future, and I will let you guys know. But that's one of the many reasons why I chosen to work with UCB up in North County and some in Pittsfield. So the people that I work the closest with and the people that watch the show can have easy access to me to make an appointment and see me and find out more about what I'm doing and find out more about what I am actually what kind of trouble I'm causing within the disabled community. As a joke, what kind of mischief I'm creating in the disabled community. And one of the things that I will be doing again this year, hopefully, with the school systems, is I will be working with I will be working with the North End School, hopefully, I haven't set this up yet, so I'm kind of speaking out of turn a little bit, but hopefully get a relationship going with North Adams School District, and again with Pittsfield during those hours that I'll be working with UCB of West in Pittsfield to kind of do two things. Introduce kids to people with disabilities and answer their questions, but also at the same time use it as a recruiting tool for staff in the future. Getting into like BCC nursing programs or BCC for job shadowing or job opportunities for people to come to the people to learn about what the BCA program is, what it entails as a job, and what it requires as a person to be able to do the job. What I mean by requires as a person, you gotta have the ability and the caring ability to care about what you're doing, because I'm going to this one goes. I'm just trying to get a close shot so they can see the tray. Anyway, the situation is that a lot of people don't think that a lot of people don't look at the job as a personal relationship with the client. Now, what I mean by that is they don't take into consideration when the client gets into trouble, what do? Most of the people that are in nursing homes honestly don't have family. I'm lucky to have a family that cares about me and a family that is interested in what I'm doing in my day-to-day life as much as possible. But being in a nursing home and being in a situation where that can pose a problem, because people who work in nursing homes have to work with so many people that they can't become personally involved with the people they work with. The reason why I set up this way is I was going to tell you a story that happened to me this past week. And that is, if you can look at my control on my chair, the hand control on my chair, water does not work well with electronics. And the other day it was raining. I was just ever so slightly, and I got caught in the rain again with my chair, and I out. I went outside and it was cloudy, and then all of a sudden it started raining. And by the time I tried to get back in the house, I got stuck in the driveway in a hole because it was raining. The hand control got wet, and I was not able to make it in the house without sorting out the hand control. So, long story short, I had to call the fire department to come and get me out of a situation that could have been very interesting. So, with a power chair, you gotta be careful. Make sure all the electronics are covered, and make sure you don't go on the pouring rain, because you never know what's gonna happen. So even if you gotta put a plastic bag over the hand control and the door opener and the emergency button, do so, because this chair that I'm in right now, this is 14 or 15 years old, but when I got it, the chair cost $25,000. So you don't want to get it. You don't want to get it wet if you can avoid it. Now, sometimes it's unavoidable, but you know, if I don't have a chair, I'm dead in water as far as what I can do. And what I'm suggesting is people need to think about what the PCAs do for you and what kind of sacrifices they do for you so you can be as independent as you can be. And the people at UCP, what they provide, they provide services like getting these straws so I can take a drink anytime I want to in the chair. Okay? Without this straw, I have to rely on somebody being at the house to I'm sorry about the mic, but I have to rely on people being in the house in order to get a drink. I can't be alone without a situation like this or this wheelchair, so that I can be alone and then I can have some privacy in my own house, so I can be as sane as possible and get stuff done that I need to get done, so I can put on a show like I do for you every week. Now, there's even equipment that I have that allows me to stay in bed by myself, to so if I don't have anybody for the overnight, night owl can be activated and I can stay home by myself for an overnight. But at the same time, somebody's got to come in and get me up in the morning. So what I'm saying in all this is, people need to realize it's dedicated people, it's caring people that need to take care of you, and you need to care for them as far as what they're doing for you and who they are and what kind of sacrifices they're taking for you. What kind of sacrifice they're taking out of their life to work for somebody less fortunate than they are. And in some cases, they're more fortunate by working with people less fortunate than they are, because they get to meet pretty interesting people. And like I always say, how many people in a wheelchair do you know? I want you to really think about this, and I'll come back to it in some other time. And I want you to think, how many people in a wheelchair you know have their own TV show and have their own area that we can bring up tough subjects like disabilities and some of the challenges and say, life, I'm the first one to tell you, life is not fair sometimes. Life is just not fair. But rather than sit there and say life isn't fair, you just gotta pick up the pieces and keep going. And if anybody had the excuse of, oh, I don't want to today, or I don't need to today because I'm disabled, I do. I have that feeling every day, but I can't let myself stoop down to that level. I got too much work to do, too many people to help, and too many people to make a difference for, and that's what this show is, and that's what my job is. Here and at UCB of Western Mass and UCB of Western Mass in Pittsfield and UCP of Western Mass in North County, North Adams. I'll give you the addresses at the end of the show, which is rapidly approaching, but I will give you the addresses right now. 535 Curran Highway in North Adams, and 208 West Street in Pittsfield, on West Street in Pittsfield. That's 208 West Street at 535 Curran Highway in North Adams. On Tuesday I'm in Pittsfield from 10 to 1, and on Friday I'm in North Adams from 10 to 1 and 1:30, and there you can meet with me and talk to me, and I can meet with the powers that be and kind of have a discussion with you about more about situations that I'm dealing with on a weekly basis, and tell you more about what the agencies do, and just have some ideas about what I can talk about on the show. Now, what I'm going to say right now is, without my support system that I have, and the support system not only of the mayor of the city of Pittsfield and the cooperation with Pittsfield Community Television and the cooperation on Northern Berkshire Community TV. This information would not get out there. Thank you all for doing things like setting me up with video going to Facebook and video going to YouTube. You can look up Wheeling the Pathways of Life and all the videos from past shows and all the videos from current shows. And this one right now will be on there. And like I said, this is being broadcast on YouTube as well. So you can, there's many resources to get a hold of me. And even if you want to stop by and see me personally at the offices, I can give you more resources and areas to look into, and I'd love to meet with the fire department at both locations and work out evacuation plans like I did for the school systems if needed, in areas like that, and situations, explain situations to them that I've dealt with in a corporate situation as far as evacuations and difficulties about getting around buildings that are not necessarily handicapped accessible. Because one of the things that bothers me is the word reasonable. And that is, the law states, as long as it's a reasonable as long as it's a reasonable adaptation for somebody to get into a building, somehow that makes it acceptable. Somehow that makes it acceptable for a wheelchair like me, wheelchair like mine, to get through a building. And sometimes reasonable is a relative term as far as what is reasonable for one may not be reasonable for another. So in my estimation, I think when you have an opportunity to deal with somebody like UCB or an agency like that that can help you identify, or me personally, through the show of working with UCB or working, me being around the two offices, I'd be glad to come out and look at the building and see if it's accessible to wheelchairs, because honestly, and I'm not just saying this for my own self, but honestly, if somebody is severely disabled as I am, I hate the word disabled, but physically challenged as I am, can make it through the buildings. Anybody who has a physical challenge should be able to get through a building in a wheelchair. Especially a power wheelchair that they're that they are navigating by themselves. Because if they can navigate through the building by themselves without help, then that's what I would classify as reasonable accommodations for disabled. And the reason why they call it reasonable is they put a cap on if it's not financially reasonable, you don't have to do it. The only exception that I agree with is in historic buildings like old churches and stuff. You don't want to disrupt the structure of an old building. You don't want to disrupt the sentimental value or the history of a building. But in my estimation, even that, a little attempt like just putting a little ramp banner or something like that will not diminish the structure of the building that much. In most cases, I'm saying reasonable accommodations is such a subjective term that whoever came up with reasonable accommodations, you tell a handicapped person because it's reasonable accommodations, they can't get into a building. Me personally, and this is not the opinion of the station or the opinion of any affiliates around the station or any other show on the station or any other show on the channel, but or any statement that I may make later in on the web. But that to me is discriminatory. If you're telling a person, I don't want to spend the money. Now, mind you, if it's too difficult physically you gotta tear down a historic building, do something, that's reasonable. If you can't do it, you can't do it. But if somebody says, I don't want to spend the money, to me, that's discriminatory, and that should be a punishable statement right there. I mean, because the word reasonable is, because of the way the law is written, we can't do that, but I'm saying it should be. Anybody that says reasonable accommodations, and if people find out that it is reasonably easy to do or reasonably can be done, although it may cost a little bit, it should be done, because if it's a public building, under the law, that's the reason why the law was written, so people can access buildings that they should be able to get into to conduct business and to be a productive member of society. Now, and then I only have less than 3 minutes left. I'm going to start again by saying, in Pittsfield, I'll be at 208 West Street, UCB of Western Mass on Tuesday, 10 to 1. And on Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 to 1:30 on Friday afternoon. You can stop by the office. Please make an appointment first. But I'd be glad to sit down with whoever whoever is interested in what I have to say. And please tell me what station you are mostly watching this program on, whether it be online or whether it be on PCT or Northern Mercer Community TV, just so I have an idea where I'm getting the most watches. And let me know if you're on Facebook, or let me know if you've seen the show on YouTube. Because the show is for you. I'm not doing this for just my pleasure. I'm doing this because it's fun to do, and there's so much information that still, after many years of doing things like this and dealing with situations that I've been dealing with for 48 years, there's still information that needs to get out there. And there's still information that people aren't paying attention to. So I will keep plugging away as much as I can, as reasonably as I can, and hopefully you will stick with me. And one thing I ask, please share this information with people. Please show the show to other people. Please use me as an educational tool in the school systems. Any teachers that have any questions, please feel free to get hold of me on wheelingthepathwayoflife@gmail.com. Wheeling the Pathway of Life. And like I said, you can get a hold of me at UCB of Western Mass on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. and Friday mornings from 10 a.m. to 1 or 1:30, depending. And I hope you all meet with me, and I hope you'll stop by and see me sometime in those locations. And I hope you take this show and make it useful for you, and anything I can do to make this show better for you, or better for you consumer, or give you information that I don't give to you in a week. Let me know what you need, and I will be sure to include it. Again, I will be in Pittsfield from 10 to 1, and North Adams from 10 to 1 on Tuesday. I'll be in Pittsfield, and Friday I'll be in North Adams. Have a good afternoon, and I will see you all next week, and be well. Thank you. Have a good day.
You can bury the workman, but the work will go